the Tape Never Lies Network, home of the greatest Chicago Bears fans on earth.
The following show is for mature audiences only.
The Tape Never Lies Network.
The Tape Never Lies. Tape Never Lies.
Starts now.
You know what? It was an overthrow by Mitch.
Yeah.
I mean,
Injured bear on the field is Akeem Hicks.
Cousins loses the football, strip sack and takeaway.
Bears our live.
Who else but Khalil Mack?
Bears our live. We go on live right after Bears games with your boys draft talking the smartest man alive.
Yo.
Bears our live. Bears our live. We go on live right after Bears games with your boys draft talking the smartest man alive. Ran up with the true analysis you expect. Raw passion for the show. Bears fans get nothing less. Locked in with real emotion and passion for every play. Coach Phil gonna bring that range, but in with facts like shade. Post game show like nothing else you're gonna hear. Some can try to copy, but a bucket's not sincere. Delivering the truth on what just happened, to be clear. That's why we're on TV, so you can see it, not just hear. Hey, yo, with Draft Dr. Phil, you know it's always hit sticks. Splitting double teams like 96 Akeem Hicks. You can tell the shit matters. A bit love can be felt. Critical of Nagy cause the talent he's been dealt. Cause our life keeps growing. Shane's all knowing. Delivering the truth on how the QB's throwing. Dimes on time, just lacking fundamental. Whatever the case, we get hot like Cecil. Fiery discussion about what happened in the game. This ain't your daddy's postgame, so expect the fucking flame. Not for the average fan, a loss they can't survive.
But don't you worry.
Bears Our Live.
Bears our live. Bears our live. We go on live right after Bears games with their boys draft talk and the smartest man alive.
The Red Legend,
Bears our live.
Dr. Phil
Bears our
Otoshun.
live. We go on live right after Bears games with your boys draft talk and the smartest man alive. Bears our live. Bears our live. Bears our live. We go on live right after
The Tape Never Lies Network.
This is Bears Hour Live.
Welcome to BHL, and as you guys, most of you I'm sure just witnessed, the Chicago Bears get outplayed, outcoached, out-everythinged in a big game at Soldier Field by the hated rival Green Bay Packers and drop the game 35-16, and they backdoor themselves into the playoffs because we saw the Rams defeat the Cardinals. But there's so much to talk about here with this team, as always, and unfortunately not much of it is good today at all, and we've known that for a very long time as diehard Bears fans. So we're going to kick it off early here, turn it over to the draft doc, and listen to his opening rant. So here we go.
Rivalry game, right? That's what it's about. This is the charter franchise, the litmus test, I called it all week as we led up to this game, as I broke down the tape against the pitiful Jaguars. You know, that's the thing about football. You are who you are, no matter what. When the chips are down, you show your true colors. You unveil who you are when pressure is put on. And let's talk about, there's so much to get into in this game. But in 4th down and 1, you go to the well. You know, you're in the game, you kick the field goal, or you get under center and quarterback sneak it again, or run Montgomery. Instead, you go dash pass, which you've done, and I counted mistakenly. On 3rd down and short, as well as 4th down, you've run this play over 15 times. So your rival in your division are scouting you. That's what they get paid to do. And they don't fear you whatsoever. So you play right into their hands, Coach Nagy, because you are the reason this team sucks against their rival. Let's just be honest. So you go to the dash pass and you get shut down with one option, and that's the only option on 4th and 1. Not a read option, not get Mitch versus the end, Montgomery hitting it hard. This is the reality of what I've seen for 4 years with this shoe, man. It's ridiculous on every level of football. Forget everything else. It comes down to that situation. You want to win the game? You power the fuck up in there and you get the first down and you go down there because you got to be perfect. You have to be perfect. You got a quarterback that's inaccurate, doesn't know where to go without a security blanket because you're putting him in that situation. People are going to hate on Mitch. Fine. But you got the fucking guy that's running the fucking engine, putting the wrong kind of oil in. That's why the fucking engine sucks. And don't get it twisted. Fire these motherfuckers now! Well, let's go to the playoffs. Yeah, you backed into the fucking playoffs, McCaskey. You backed in. You're 8-8, the same place you are. And guess what? It's not going to change. It's not. Dropping interceptions all over the field. The difference between winning and losing the game is catching and dropping the football. I said that to you, fans, on Wednesday night. I've said it to you for 5 years. My coach, Mike Marone, said that to me when I was a freshman in high school. It still lives today. You got to make the play. You got to. I don't give a shit. 22, 50, 59. All of them. 39, dropping the ball. Running their mouths. But dropping the ball. That's a reflection of the head coach. Run your mouth when you're fucking dominating. Aaron Rodgers is laughing at you. You're nobody. You're a layup. You're a speed bump with Charlie. That's what you are, a joke, a punchline. You go out there and you lose, and everybody on this network saying, guess what? They're coming back. Not me. Not me. I want championships. I want coaches that go in there maniacal. It's crazy. It's so fucking sad on every level. There's Chicago Bears team has so much more talent than they play to. It makes me cry inside because I know that I would win that game. I know what Mooney's putting on the field. I know what Montgomery, I know what these guys love. And you do it. Instead, you want to be Shoe. You want to get in the shotgun. And you want to fucking play politics. Play football. Find the matchup. Make Allen Robinson open. Put him in trips. Rush him. Rub route. Get him involved. That's your job. That's your job. This game could have been won. It could have been won. Instead, you're fucking out there not understanding how to do it. I counted 8 times on 3rd and short or 4th and short. You're in the shotgun. That's an arena coach. That's an arena coach. I hate this. I hate it. On every level, I hate it. Because you know why? You're good enough to win. And now you're just a punchline. And that's the head coach steering the ship right into the rocks. Right into the rocks. Long Island iced teas on the rocks. That's your coach. And if you think it any other way, you can point fingers everywhere. I'm watching a broad delay of game, not called, twice, and they score touchdowns on that's the change of the game. We knew the refs were going to be a part of this. And then we get one back with the false start. I'll take it. We deserve it for fucking 8 years not getting a call. That's my rant, Shane. I don't even know where I'm going because I'm so fired up with this football team and this coach. You don't save bullshit. You don't keep this coach. What you do is you turn it around. You turn the tide, Shane. You make.
I agree, Phil. But they're not launching him. They're not.
You gotta launch. You backed into the playoffs at 8.
I agree. I totally 100% agree, Phil. But they're not. I will be so happy to come on here if I am wrong. But it's never been the Chicago Bears way ever. You're talking about a team or a franchise that's used to 6-10 and 7-9 and then regressing to 4-12 and blowing it up and then going back to 6-10 and 7-9. Yes, they're 8-8, but they backed into the playoffs. I'm not defending it. I'm speaking on it from George McCaskey's perspective and ownership. No.
Are they winning next year? What are we hanging our hat on here?
Nothing, Phil. I'm not defending them, but I'm telling you their mentality.
Does it make any sense?
Winning is not priority in Chicago. It's not a priority in Chicago. We know that mediocre is accepted, and that's exactly what they're mediocre to below average. Their offense has shown some signs. It's still like pulling teeth. I mean, you're never sitting back. I mean, on a 4th and 1 play, you have almost no confidence that the players are going to execute or Nagy and company are going to send in the right play. And the defense has went from the penthouse to the fucking outhouse. And it's Phil, it is what it is. It's fundamental football. You have your best cornerback, and it took you 3/4 of the game to finally figure out, go shadow Devontae Adams. You have Chuck Pagano out there getting out-coached in literally every facet of the game. How many times did you see our linebackers matched up on Devontae Adams or Alan Lazard? Or it was happening over and over and over again. It's coaching malpractice.
74 yards.
I know.
Linebacker Danny Trevathan on
your slowest linebacker by a wide margin. And I'm not trying to bag on Danny T. It's just he's a veteran. He's been through the wars for a long time, and he's nicked up. But come on, dude. Valdez-Scantling, he's leading the NFL in yards per catch. And he just extended it with a 74-yarder. And then you have these Bears beat reporters that are trying to come at the fans now for saying that you got to all over Twitter. As soon as that play happened, they went directly at the fans saying, you fans wanted Chuck Pagano to put pressure on Aaron Rodgers and blitz the guy. That's what you get. So what do you do? Do you sit back? You want to sit back and let this guy kill you?
Your slowest linebacker on a guy who runs 4.49.
Exactly. You can't pick and choose one blitz that was a colossal failure and just say that it's. But that's Phil.
Cover soccer. Please.
The franchise is fundamentally flawed. The people that cover this franchise are fundamentally flawed. The leadership, they need a redo, Phil, but I'm sure.
Listen, this should have been the litmus test. Now you have another opportunity to see how poorly coached this team is. If you're saying they went from the penthouse to the outhouse on defense, well, why? Because Roquan got hurt in that game? No, it's been happening every week. And Fox, you did a shit job. You didn't even cover. The best inside backer gets hurt in the fucking first quarter or second quarter, and you didn't even once talk about this guy. Not once gave an update until the fourth quarter when Woods made that tackle on Lazard inside the 5. They go, oh, yeah, by the way, he's in the game because Roquan got hurt. Roquan Smith, for God's sake, he's your second best defensive player. It's a shit show all around. There's so much to get into. I don't agree with Shane here. I think change has got to come. I'm just going to put the energy.
Phil, I'm not saying that it doesn't need to go. I agree.
You're going to keep this guy.
They're gonna.
Saying, no. I don't care that they made the playoffs. You fired.
I don't either, Phil. I'm just telling you.
Who do they back into play?
The Saints. They go to New Orleans.
You go to New Orleans and get shit rodded or fucking, boat raced. Are they fucking still here? It's like, what are you doing? You're keeping the Sisters of the Poor on the schedule so you can get a win? This is ridiculous.
Because they're a flawed franchise, Phil.
Well, we got to do something about it. We got to fucking. Hey, Shane, we talked about Gale Sayers being a problem, not.
Did you hear them mention that on the broadcast today?
Not once.
Not one time.
Not once.
And the Bears honor him.
Did what? Because they tell them what they did.
Yeah, the Chicago Bears finally, after we bring it up, honor Gale Sayers. But what do they do for him? They paint a logo on the sidelines, right down from where the players will stand.
The picture because they didn't even see it. These fans deserve. Yeah. Fans deserve better. I'm emotional and passionate about this game because I know that our guest, if he was the head coach, the Chicago Bears win today. There's no fucking way you should lose that game. And you do everything in your power to lose. Look at the situations. Don't make excuses up. You didn't lose because Roquan wasn't in the game. You lost because your coach sucks. He is so dumb. It is ridiculous. It takes a fourth down to get it up under center and make a quarterback sneak. That shit should happen naturally. It shouldn't even take a second. Tom Brady, he's not thinking. Everyone up. Hype. He's up. And they're on to the next play because you're freaking coaching them in situational football. This guy is a shoe salesman. He's awful. He didn't go. Look at it. This is what they did. Right where the water boy sits. That's where they honored Gale Sayers. That's your fucking franchise right there. Look at that. It should be on the 40-yard line, showcasing number 40. The jerseys retired, by the way.
Yeah, and I mean, kidding me? It's not the Bears as a franchise should have at the very. And the thing about it is, Phil, that's aimed towards the field. So from the TV perspective, where the cameras are, it's backwards. Yes. You can't even see it.
There's the camera. Look, they would have to do an upside down shot. That's so ironic for the upside down bullshit that you're dealing with this franchise. Look at that shit. We don't make shit up here. We bring it up here. Let's get to our guest. You guys know. Let me just change the background here so we can add him in. Right here, Coach Atosha. My dad is in the building. Dad, you were able to see the game. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. I saw the game.
You heard my passionate rant with a lot of cuss that I know.
Yeah. Coach O just said you're grounded 2 weeks.
Listen,
potty mouth.
I want to wish you guys a happy New Year, first of all.
You too,
and
Coach.
Your fans
thanks.
And everything. But, yeah, I watched the game. It was very conservative play. The whole thought was conservative. But you know something? The big thing that I think Phil mentioned it, and I wanted to showcase it. There's situations you got a receiver, number 12. It's a great receiver, I think. And you got him the ball one time in the first half.
Yeah.
One time. And you don't have any schemes. You have patterns, but you don't have any schemes. You don't prepare.
Thank you.
I never saw anything like it. Like, I understand that if the quarterback's going to quarterback sneak for the fourth time in a row, you might stop him. But let me tell you something. If you took two linemen and brought them in and lined them up in the A-gaps, and all three of you fired out with the line, you'd make every first down there is, and there wouldn't be any stopping. And even if they had a Jeep on the other side, you'd make the first down.
Exactly.
You have to plan. You have to have more plays on the goal line for sure. You just don't do the same plays over and over again.
They went to the well there on that fourth down.
But, you know, not to make any more excuses, the Bears did a terrible thing. At first, Phil, you agreed this guy was a franchise quarterback. He's not a franchise quarterback. He's so inaccurate, it's unbelievable.
I agree. I totally agree.
And you got to sweep the whole door out. You got the guy, Bowles, keep him there. He's a backup quarterback. But you got to go and get a franchise quarterback. And this is not a franchise quarterback. It's just not. I'm sorry. I don't care how far and how long you're going to work with him. And it's a shame because you got a first-class running back that he is the franchise right now. You're right, Phil. This kid is an incredible running back. Plays hurt. I thought we were going to miss him for the rest of the game. He's back in there to play after. He's unbelievable. You got some good players. You need a couple of linemen that got to be changed on especially the left tackle. And you got a few others. But, you know, you got a good draft. You might be able to get this whole thing fixed up with a new coach, I hope.
Yeah, let's talk about the coach. I mean, that's your specialty. You're analyzing the coach.
I think you're hitting on this thing. I mean, this game is a lot more complicated than high school and college football. I'm going to tell you something right now. It's a lot more beyond me. I think it's what you have to do is plan. And I'm sure if I was with the game and with them, I would know. But
Right.
there's so many things that you have to do, and it's correcting your whole game plan situation. You know, it reminds me of a coach. He calls plays. That's all there is. It's plays, and you can't be plays. There's a system. Everything has a reason for running it, and you change it up. I was looking at Green Bay run that waggle. They run it about 1,000 times, and you can't stop it. They get you in a situation where you have to go and get your linebacker stacked, and he can't cover that guy coming in motion. You just can't cover it. So unless you put a corner there, but you can't because there's a split receiver out there. So the corner's on that guy. The safety's still got to be on the hash. There's no way you can cover the play. Why don't the Bears have that in their system?
They do. They don't know when to use it. It's establishing the run. It's getting under center. I mean, how many times have we talked about this? Getting in the shotgun, a short yardage situation. If you're not threatening that edge, then why the fuck are you in the shotgun? Because it really makes no sense to run the ball, and you saw it rear its ugly head in this game. And then they ran, obviously, dash pass without the run threat. You're forcing Mitch to make a play. Now, Daryl Johnston and them came back after the commercial break and were wondering, did Jimmy Graham not know his assignment and not run the rub route so you could get – and that's really too much right now to think. Matt Nagy's got to answer that question. That should be the first or second question.
Got to review the tape, Phil. That's how that's going to be.
Because it's just mind-boggling, because if you kick the field goal there or you run the football and get the first down, those are the only two options I saw. Instead, they go to a play they've run consistently in this football on this team, and they're scouting you, and it's shut down, and Mitch still throws the ball there. And almost gets picked again. So take it and run for it. Threaten to throw and do something else. I get it. But I honestly, listen, I will go to my grave. I felt like Matt Nagy ruined Mitch Trubisky. I will go to my grave there. The same theory you have with Jim Plunkett and what he was with in New England. If you have a shitty offensive line and a shitty head coach who's just a play caller, and you think you're going to develop a young quarterback to be your franchise, I'm sorry. You could have had the fucking Mahomes here. He wouldn't have developed because you got a fucking shoe salesman as a head coach. And that's my truth. So, yeah, he's going to get out of town. You keep Nick Foles as your backup. I don't want none of them. Get rid of Nick Foles. Get rid of Mitch.
You can't get rid of him. You need some experience. No.
Well,
you got to have somebody that can.
Nick has shown me the only experience it's a bad experience. It's almost like going to a haunted house with Nick Foles. But again, that could be a byproduct of the coach. Nick does not.
Trubisky, it's money. Yeah. It's money. Trubisky, you keep Trubisky, you got to pay him millions.
Yeah.
If you give Foles, you don't cost you millions. You need a backup quarterback. You need a starter.
Foles is
you got to think about a kid that can play.
Foles has there's a player option on the next 2 years in a row where Nick Foles can opt out, but I doubt very much he opts out of his deal now because he didn't play well, and the Bears guaranteed him $21 million over 3 years, so he's not walking away from that. They're not gonna kick you. Where your dad is correct, Phil. Mitch has more upside. I just can't see the Bears when, to your point, where they need to blow it up. The money's gonna go to Foles no matter what because it's guaranteed. He's already there.
He's already got that money.
But then
unless he decides he wants to,
right?
Which he's not,
but then you're gonna have to circle back around and then pay Mitch. On top of that,
it's going to cost you a lot of money.
Yeah, for a team that's already financially strapped.
This is why you're making a great point here that I didn't even think. This is why you get rid of Nagy, even though they made the fucking playoffs or whatever they're going to try to sell. He backed into the fucking playoffs. He didn't beat Green Bay and set this world on fire. This is us. This is us. No, they're probably in there doing Club Dub because they fucking made the playoffs.
Right.
Meanwhile,
I tweeted that out.
You did?
I did.
Every fan deserves better than this. You want to use Trubisky to his skill set? then you freaking put it into the scheme, and you scheme it. You scheme these things. That's what the Packers are doing to you. You know what they're doing? I know. I go in motion. Now the linebackers got 17, and now that's what they're doing. Instead, you're just running plays. How long have I said this, Shane? Now you got my dad coming on here. They're just running plays. And I will tell you, if I hated Mitch Trubisky or if I thought he was it's Matt Nagy by a long shot.
Nobody will question that. I think Trubisky is a tough guy, and I just think there's some horses. You got a racehorse.
Here's the
Here we
got
go.
the head coach.
We got the head coach.
Better job there, making sure we get that. And then all of a sudden, they go down and they get 2 touchdowns.
3 interceptions were dropped today.
Red zone, not good enough. 1 for 5 in the red zone. You can't play the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers and kick field goals.
You made them better than they are.
There's no
the Green Bay
no
Packers.
other way. And then he's 4 for 4 in the red zone. We had 6 fourth down conversions, which is probably more than we had all year long.
Let's champion that, you jackass.
Is what we wanted. We had 35 to 24 time of possession, and that's hard to do against them. Our defense to come out in the third quarter there and to get that 5 and out and that 3 and out. If you get an opportunity he throws you a ball, I'd love to be able to make that an interception with 2 or 3 of those that we had. We didn't, but we did get off the field, so I give credit there. Again, red zone for them was good. Red zone for us was bad offensively, and so being in that locker room afterwards. This is my first time where you lose a game, but yet you find out that you're in. And so the message to the team is this: it's okay to feel like crap right now. We put a lot of time and effort and energy into winning this football game, and it sucks when you lose. But that said, feel it tonight, understand it. But no one's going to take away what these players did to work back these last 3 weeks to put ourselves in a position to make the playoffs. And they did that. And there's no one that's going to take that from those players and the coaches. So here we are. We feel it tonight.
So worried about his goddamn job.
We got to lock in. We got to get ready for the Saints, who's a hell of a football team. We're in it.
Did he just say we made the playoffs?
Again,
we got to lock in for the Saints, who are a hell of a team.
First up, Pat Finley.
Did he before that? Because I missed it. I was going to yell at my son.
Hey Matt, how are you? Were you made aware at any point during the game what was going on with the Rams?
Who fucking cares, Pat?
When did you find out?
Oh my God.
Why is that the question?
And what was your reaction in that moment?
Walking off of the field after the game, I was told of the score. I still don't even know the score. I think it was 18-7 or something is what I was told.
Just get rid of this guy. Tell him, Michael. Silly Salmon gets it. Are you kidding me?
Again,
this
I've
guy
never
should
been
be
in
coaching the
situation,
Jets.
So, sorry for.
That's what he should be doing.
I
Jets tight end coach right
you're
here.
Excited
That's who he
because
is.
You're in.
That he's
right?
your head
But
coach.
the message to the players
kidding
because
me?
you got
Get rid of
65
Pace
guys looking at
for
you in the
hiring
locker
him
room like,
and
man,
John
we
Fox.
wanted to win this game and we didn't.
Piece of shit
But
coach right here.
The message was a lot of honesty that hey, when we wake up tomorrow, let's go.
That's our goal.
Let's regroup and let's get after it.
That's what he's selling. Please.
We play the Saints, and so that's what
you
I
knew the
out.
fucking score.
Matt, who told you?
He doesn't know the score. Are you kidding me? It's the only thing he's hanging on to.
I think it was Aaron Clark.
Brad Biggs.
You're the fool, Jesse.
Matt, do you
listen to some
feel
other
like
show.
you guys have
That's
closed
what I
the
said.
gap?
Freaking clown show.
You're breaking up there, Brad. I heard you're frozen right now. You said
We lost you, Brad. We'll come back. JJ.
Big's question was, do you feel like you've closed the gap?
The message you gave your team about, hey, it's okay to feel like crap right now. I'm just curious, as you're kind of going through it in that moment,
you
how are you
should feel like
balancing
crap right now.
your own emotions?
That
Like
should
you're
be the
saying,
best
like you never been through this before, of losing this game.
Stop
but
calling plays, Shane.
being
If
excited
anybody
that there is
thinks
another game
Matt Nagy wasn't calling plays
So,
today, go
there's
to another
so much
network.
stuff, as y'all know, that goes
Fucking listen
through
to somebody else.
in my
He called
position.
plays. That's
when
his,
you go through what
that's
we
his
went through
shtick.
this year, and you
That's
lose
his
6 in a row,
his spiel,
for
whatever the
me,
term is.
you get to
Shtick.
that point, and you
kidding me?
say, okay, here's where we're at.
This
How
guy
are we gonna
called
get out
all
of
the
this thing?
plays today.
And the only way
Don't
to do
think
it is
anything
by
different.
believing in each other. And there's I'm sure even right now, there's a lot of people that
Laser told you this weeks ago. We told you this shit.
But our guys understood that, hey, here's where we're
Go
at.
look at
we can either just
Ian Rappaport's
hold up
tweet
shop
today.
and say that's enough, or we can step up and say we got 4 games left. And so as all that stuff was going down, and you work week to week to
want to
win 3 in a row.
You want to win.
Now you have this sitting in front
you
of
get
you.
rid of this guy,
Big
and you get a
rival
real
great team, the
culture
number 1
with
seed
a
in the
real
NFC,
head coach
at home. And you get what a great opportunity. And so our guys, they had a hell of a practice all week long. Was great.
Always got a great
and
practice.
you fight,
Have you ever heard of not having a good practice?
That fourth quarter, and then that
That's
happens.
what most coaches say when they're struggling.
Then you get in the locker room. And so what I haven't done yet is reflected on.
Tell you that
I have to reset myself. I'm
you know
still
what? You gotta
emotionally
fire
focused,
yourself.
feeling
Probably
this game. I'm not
that
at
would be
at
the only
playoff
thing
part
saving
yet.
you. Great
so
week.
Once I get over that here in the next hour or two, it's going to go right on to the Saints. And now, as you all know, anything can happen.
Do me a favor, Shane.
Let me just
Pull
say
up
this:
that
for our
Ian
team and our
Rappaport
players,
tweet for
to
some
pull
of
out
these
a 6-game
trolls.
losing streak.
That
I'm proud of them
obviously,
for that. And
I don't know
now-
how much time and
now we
energy
go.
this
You know,
network
now
can
we
give
go.
you.
And I think I believe these guys
Showing you
believe,
Bill Laser
anything can
telling
happen, as
you
all know.
this guy's
Dan
calling
Wiederer.
the plays.
Matt, how tempted were you to go for it on 4th and goal from the 2 when you settled for the 20-yard field goal? And then also on the 4th and 1, what most agitates you about that sequence?
Let's see what he says.
So I really thought that maybe we should go for it at that 4th and 2. But then you look up and you say, okay, if you don't get it, you end up getting the 3 points and you keep it within that less than a touchdown. And now if you get a touchdown, you're up and you're winning right exactly where we were at that 4th and 1. And then the 4th and 1 situation, it's just 4th and 1. We got to get that. And then 3rd.
Did
and 1
you call the
that,
play,
I'm not gonna
Matt?
get into the
Yeah,
wild
you
part,
did.
'cause That's just for me and the coaches and the
Mhm.
players. And I
Mhm.
just I want to get that, and that one bothers me.
Should
Listen,
Brad Biggs.
you want to keep it real?
Matt, do you feel like you
Did
guys
you-
have been able to close the gap with
Oh
the
my
Packers
God,
this
Brad.
season?
He went back to
or
this
is
question.
it too early to kind of take
You got beat twice
inventory on
by
that type of
double
thing?
digits, closing the gap.
Well,
What gap?
for us,
Fucking
so you look
Michael
at the first
Strahan's
game
teeth
that occurred
has a
versus
bigger,
the second
lesser
game,
gap
and they're totally
than this.
two totally different styles of games.
Gap.
When you have
Got
Aaron
beat
Rodgers on
by
the bench
double-
for as long as we had him on the bench, now,
45
when he
to
was out there, he
21
was
in the
playing
first
pretty
game.
well.
What was
But
the
we
final
did come
today?
out and get crucial
35-16.
stops in the third quarter, which was
35-16
great.
this
our
game.
defense put us in a great
Please.
position
Brad Biggs.
offensively.
The only gap they're
Closing
closing.
the gap, obviously we haven't when you
Get
lose
rid
2
of
games
these.
like we did. So the only thing
There
that
you
we
go.
can do is now reshift our focus to New Orleans.
Let's
But,
do this for
they're
you,
playing-
slow
New
readers
Day
out.
is playing really well right now.
Matt
I mean, you
Nagy,
guys see that.
who
They're-
is
there's
safe.
a reason why they
He's
play the way
saying
they
he's
play.
safe. His
And
job.
they're a good football
He's
team. and you have
become
to give
more
them credit.
involved in play calling recently.
Jason Leisure.
Trying to jump on that thing. And you
Matt,
saw
you
it
seem to
today.
be ambivalent right now. Like you're kind of compartmentalizing
No,
the
I'm
season
stupid.
and then the
Ask this
what comes
question.
ahead.
Did you
As far as
call
the
the
season
play,
goes,
Matt, on 4th
8-8,
down?
losing to Green Bay a
Susan
couple
could
times.
do a better job than
I'm
these
getting
fucking media
the impression
right
from you
now.
you're not satisfied with that part of it.
Close the gap.
Well, again, right now it's an hour or whatever. It's about an hour after the game, so I'm just emotional from that.
4th
side
and
of it
1, let's
because,
go
we put in
shotgun,
so much
guys.
Time, man.
My kid does that in
get this
Madden.
win, and that's where.
Go
So I'm
shotgun.
allowed to, I feel this way
Go
right now. And
shotgun
then
on 4th
once I
and
get
1.
over this, Jason, I'll get through this and shoot. It's my job. It starts with me is to make sure that we do everything we can as coaches
Clean
to get our
house.
players ready
This
to
is
realize
false-
that.
false hope.
It's a clean slate tomorrow, and you guys
Can you
know
hear
it. I
me?
mean, there's been anything
Yeah,
can
we
happen
can.
once you get in the playoffs. Anything, especially this
God.
year too. It's crazy the way things are going. So
This guy's all happy.
our guys
now.
have the right mindset.
I think he
I
said
would
all the same
probably
things
be a little
last
bit
time I heard
upset
him.
if our locker room
Exactly.
That was
just
2-3
like going crazy
weeks
and
ago.
celebrating and being
Yeah, it's the
excited in
same-
the locker room.
same
after the
spiel.
game. I'd be a little bit concerned.
That's
Our
why
guys
it's an
weren't, so they
embarrassment.
shift their focus.
It's
and
he
get ready
talking to
tomorrow.
the owners right
A couple
now.
more for Coach Mike Berman.
Oh my God! Winning organizations don't look like.
Obviously,
that
it's great
against
that
their
you did,
rivals.
but given that you had the 6-game losing skid and had to work your way out of that, given that you're coming off of a tough loss, how much do you think you guys have to give? What's left in the tank?
Oh, a lot. We got a lot to give.
We
And
got a
that's,
lot
I
to
think,
give.
where
We got a lot to give.
when you guys look at what these guys have done, You can't take anything away from these players. You can't.
Oh my God.
You know, these guys are positive thinkers. They just, that's how they roll. I mean, they for these guys to practice the way they've been practicing after what we went through, for them to put themselves in this position right now, and our coaches too, they coach their tails off to get to this point. And so now, again, like now it's an excitement. You guys are just getting me right now, like an hour after the game, and so I apologize.
An hour
Not
after
all
the game,
balloons everywhere, but tomorrow it's going to be energetic. There's going to be some juice. The guys
This is
are
an
gonna
idiot,
feel
guys.
up. They're going to take care of their bodies. They're going to get mentally right. And
You know
shoot,
what you
let's
do
go. You know,
as a head
that's
coach?
That's where that fire
You're
comes from.
pissed off that you
No one can
had an
take that
opportunity to
away from
control
us.
your
I'm proud of our
destiny
guys for that.
and beat a
Adam
rival.
Pope.
Forget all the offensive line.
Hey, man,
Court.
sorry if I missed this earlier, but do you
Jesus
know how bad
Christ.
Roquan Smith's injury is? Do you know if you'll have him in the playoffs? And in general, how do you feel about your defense going into the playoffs?
Yeah, I don't know the extent yet of Roquan. You guys will probably end up, knowing more here, and I will too, 24, 48 hours. He's a tough son of a buck now, so he's tough. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what the doctors and what Andre say. And then as far as with our defense, it's
give them a
I think
parade
that
for
they're going to be
8-8.
excited to be able to get an opportunity.
We're
to
the
play
same
the
place
Saints
that
again.
we left off
We
last year.
battled those guys, went into overtime, weren't able to pull it out. Again, have a lot of respect for that organization, and obviously Drew Brees and what he's done in his career.
Go thank the
showcasing
Cardinals.
and their defense.
Go
too.
thank the Rams.
So, our defense, again,
Oh my God.
to put us in a position to where we have 4th and 1 in the fourth quarter, and it's 21-15, or whatever it was at that point in time.
He's
I'm proud
looking
of our
over
guys
his
right now, so
shoulder.
it's hard for me to-
Fucking, we don't.
We're gonna fight.
I just
We're
can't
gonna fight
believe
the
this,
tails off.
coach. This
Last
is your
one,
coach.
Stacey Dales.
It's so sad. It's so
Coach,
sad.
I can sense obviously you said so emotional still from this game, but how exciting is it to say to your team, because playoff football, you put the regular season behind and it's
Look
a
at
brand
this
new
guy
season.
smiling. I don't know how. It's such a disrespect
cool, right?
to the
I agree, Stacey. I think
so
that,
cool, Stacey.
for these guys, there's a lot of other teams right now. We were a part of that last year. It stinks when you got to go home after the last game of the regular season.
You should be going home.
Now,
You're fucking talking like you
enjoy
deserve
your
to
hard
be
work.
in. Are you kidding me?
Enjoy what you
Give
invested
everyone a
these last 3 to
participation
4
award.
weeks to get to this
They
point.
did a great job,
Okay?
Hank. These
And
guys
so those
are
guys
tough
are
son
going
of
to
a
do that.
buck.
And tomorrow it's a complete
my
reset
God.
and reshift, because just like you said,
You want
anything
freaking
can happen.
below average,
And
you
we know
got
that
it with
we
this
have the
guy, because
pieces.
this is a
Our
10,
guys care. When you have a
11
care factor,
win talent on
now
this
you got to
roster.
figure out, okay, where can we get better?
Unbelievable.
And then how do we do that against a really good football team that's well coached? And after
you're not well
once we go through
coached.
tonight, tomorrow's going to be fun. There's going to be energy and excitement, and you guys will probably see a little bit more of a smile on my face than right now.
We have all seen your
Thanks,
smiling
Coach. We're all
now,
set.
and I'm fucking disgusted by it, to be honest. Any fan thinking that that's a head coach, that's who we rely on. I mean, that, just like you said, Dad, it's like carbon copied. It's saying the same shit. It's just a new day. In fact, it's even more embarrassing that he's smiling and laughing, getting beat by the team that's your biggest rival. It's your division. And you fucking clown college it out. And I can't even believe that just happened. I'm so infuriated. I don't understand anybody, any fan in the chat defending this team and this clown. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable what you're seeing. I put it on tape every week, the asinine shit. You're playing the Jags last week, and I see mess ups and screw ups in a 41-point win or whatever it was, that you beat this team because you're that much better. And then you don't think, we talked about it. The details of the game are going to be so important against a division opponent, yet a rival that's had your number. And Aaron Rodgers goes out there and lights you up like a freaking Christmas tree. And you're out here laughing and giggling. You're going to see a smiling coach tomorrow. No, I'm seeing a smiling coach after that pathetic performance now. That, in and above itself, should be a fireable offense. I can't even stomach it. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. No one could say anything because everyone is in agreement with me. In agreement with me, we'll say.
Well,
Jeez.
I think what your dad put it perfect, Phil, is when he said, I feel like I'm hearing the same thing over and over and over and over again. I mean, it is. You could take a press conference from 6 weeks ago when they were in their losing streak and play it right now and just change the, put Bears versus Packers on it, whatever you want to do, and it's the same exact thing. Guys, we got to be better. If our coaches are coaching their tails off, it's so much of the same, and yet very, very little changes. Yes, we've seen big changes on the offense, but like today, Phil, it's so frustrating, man. It's frustrating because you just knew that 4th down in one play was going to come back to bite them in the ass because they converted 3 of them, and I'm like, I know goddamn well what's coming up next. I know what's coming up next. They're going to drop Mitch back. They're going to have him in the shotgun, and they're going to.
I had the same feeling.
Yeah, you just knew that they.
He is thinking they're going to stop us if we go to that.
Exactly.
Instead of saying we're going to do this again and destroy these guys.
Exactly.
That's the whole thing. It's the power of thought over the opponent. You have to do that. You have to do that sometimes. You just have to get your players. I remember telling you this a long time ago. You start on the goal line, and you put those guys. And I used to put 12 and 14 guys on defense, and 4th and 1, and we're going to make it. And the kids made it. And that's what you got to. You got to get that
do
positive.
it against 14. You could do it against 11 on Sunday.
Right.
That's how you teach. That's how you motivate. This guy's motivation is the fact that they backed into the playoffs. And you're going to see a good team next week. You're going to see a good
Mitch,
team.
What are your emotions right now? Obviously, a tough loss to your rival again, but you still make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling. Can you guys hear me? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you, Mitch.
It's a weird feeling. Obviously disappointed from the game, but
I can't hear him.
Finding out the news that we got in, I think we just got rewarded for the work we put in the last couple weeks. And even though tonight didn't go the way we wanted, we're in the playoffs, and that's really all that matters. Everyone's 0-0, and we got a good opportunity this week, and we're grateful for that opportunity. So we got to put this one aside. We got to look at it and learn from it, and then put it aside and come ready to roll next week because we got a great opportunity.
Dan Wiederer.
Mitch, Matt seemed particularly agitated about not being able to convert the 4th and 1 when you guys were going down for a potential go-ahead drive. What did you see on that sequence, and what could have made that play convert when it was 4th and 1 at the 25?
I thought that was a situation where they had a better call on than we did, and they executed better than we did. So I think credit goes to them. And I think the only thing we could have done in that situation was maybe run something else against that.
Run.
Yeah, we could have ran the ball there.
It's a tough play. We converted some 4th downs earlier
Throw your
in the game,
coach under the bus.
They got us on that one, so you got to give them credit. But I think we
you
look
go,
at that,
Ty.
learn
Tell
from
him,
it,
Ty.
and dwell on it. Make sure we get better from it, and then next time it happens, we convert it.
To the topic of your mixed emotions, how difficult is this, I guess, over the next 2-3 hours to try to reconcile today's performance versus the opportunity that's ahead?
I think just focus on staying in the moment, and in that you're obviously analyzing your emotions, and it's okay to look at the game tonight, but it's got to be in a positive fashion because there's things we did tonight that we could get better at, but there's also things that we did were really good. So we just got to look at it, make sure we're getting better, but also staying positive and looking forward because we have another week. So you can't let it affect that the next of the week. We can't let it affect tomorrow. So you just got to look at it as new opportunity. We have a new life going into the playoffs now. We're grateful for that. So we got to go back to work. So we got to stay positive, keep the energy up, and just realize that the next game is the most important one now.
Mark Potash.
Hey, Mitch. So much is on the quarterbacks in the playoffs, and I know the offense has been a big part of the of what you've done lately. But how do you feel, especially considering today and just the way the season's going? How do you feel about where you stand right now as leading this team going into the playoffs? Not the offense, but you in particular, where you are right now.
What's he supposed to say?
This team into the playoffs.
Exactly.
I feel good. I feel good. I feel like I'm in a good mental
like
space.
asking a teenager.
Obviously, I like to do some things
When you
different
get in the
tonight to give
car
us a
with the
better chance
keys,
to win.
with your new license, how are you going to drive the car?
I feel like I've gotten better over these last couple weeks, and for the most part of that game, we were in a position.
What
we were in a good
about
position
the
to
fourth
compete towards
down
the
and
end,
one
we just
play?
let it get out.
What
of hand.
happened there?
Really, after that fourth
Talk
and one
about
was really
that.
the turning point for us.
Why wasn't there any
when the game was
read option
21-16
with you,
and we were
Mitch?
going down the score.
Using your feet
So
and killing the Packers like
we were there to
everybody
compete, but
else
we gotta be able to
does
finish games,
with the
and a big
read
part of that
option
is
game
my
against
play.
them,
I'm
except
confident in
Matt
what we can do
Nagy.
going
He
forward.
can't figure it out. Fucking listening to this shit. Yeah, what is Mitch gonna say?
Mitch,
Yeah,
what do you
I'm
remember about Saints week earlier this year? And I know when you got benched, you talked about being able to soak everything in and prepare as though you're the starter. Might you actually see the benefits of whatever sort of study you did then next week?
Yeah, I don't remember much. I remember I went in for one play and it was a QB run and I landed on my shoulder wrong. So that was unfortunate. That was pretty much the only thing I remember. I'll have to go back into my notes and see what else was going on in that game that I think that could help us going into this week. So we have a
went
great
in for one
opportunity.
play.
We know
You
we're going
actually
down and
ran
we're
the
gonna play
read
a good
option and
football
got
team.
hurt on that play.
But I think definitely looking at that game and what we saw from them, just learning from that and seeing what we can do better this time.
JJ?
Mitch, what does it mean to you to have another shot at being a starting quarterback in the playoffs now?
It's huge. I mean, this is what you work for.
Come on, JJ.
The season didn't go the way we envisioned it, but you have your opportunity, so really none of that matters. So you just gotta take advantage of that opportunity, and I'm very grateful for that. So it's got to be our best week. It's got to be my best week. And
somebody asked about the fourth down play. That's all that matters right now. What was that?
We gotta have a great.
You can ask him about the interception. Why are you throwing to Komet in double coverage?
Have this be our best game preparation.
Ask the fucking hard question.
To the best of our
because you know what, you're helping the kid.
Just the way the season went, all the ups and downs,
where you learn
everything in between. To be in the position we are now, we're very fortunate.
But
a lot of that is credit to the team sticking together and just hard work across the board. So we earned this.
He's got his head down.
We got to take advantage now. So
he doesn't have that's notes. What he said. He's going to look at his notes about the Saints game because he played one play.
Hey Mitch, how would you assess the offense today? Just kind of a weird afternoon where you're not able to get a lot of big plays until the shot to Mooney, but you're also moving chains and keeping control of the ball, but not scoring touchdowns. So kind of how did you evaluate it right off the bat?
It's like a 10th grader asking a varsity football player.
The ball control part of it was good, staying on the field and converting first downs. And then where that can get really – where we can take the next level, obviously, when you're controlling the ball and having success staying on the field is not settling for field goals because it really doesn't matter if you have the ball all that time and you're just settling for a field goal. So when we get down to the red zone, the most important thing for us is coming away with the touchdown. So we got to definitely look at this game and see what we did down the red zone and see what we can do better this week and have a great red zone study going into our playoff game. Because staying on the field is important, keeping our defense off the field and letting them rest, and especially when you're going against a really good offense like we did tonight. Just us.
How do you get down the field quicker?
That's advantage us, but
because every time they don't score and they kick off, they take time running the ball and making first downs. Then you get the ball and you got to go 75 yards.
Mitch, as an extension of Kevin's question, what were your feelings coming off the field after the opening drive where you did control the ball and you did get in the end zone and take that early lead with a half a quarter gone already?
Yeah, I mean, that's ideally what you would like the other drives to look like when we're controlling the ball, staying on the field, converting third or fourth downs, and then finishing in the end zone. So that definitely gave us a lot of confidence early on. But when we got back down in the red zone, I'm going to have to go back and watch the film, but they just out-executed us and made us settle for field goals. So credit goes to them. But when you're driving down on defenses and staying on the field, that really takes the life out of them. So you just got to be able to finish in the red zone and come away with points. It's all about touchdowns, and that's going to be huge in the playoffs.
Last one, Joe Lewis.
Yeah, Mitch, it seems like in this game you found Darnell Mooney early and often, but the games before, specifically the last 4, you found Allen Robinson a lot more. What looks did the Packers give you that made it more difficult for you to find him?
I think just the matchups and what we had in the plan for Mooney to get the ball. I think early on they were just giving us looks that were more advantageous to go to Mooney than to A-Rob, but I think our offense is at our best, and when we're really doing well and in a rhythm, and definitely when we're finishing down the red zone, it's when 12 is getting his hands on the ball. So we're going to have to look at that.
You have to scheme it. You have
I wasn't aware of it early on that he wasn't touching the football. So you got to have your best receiver definitely involved early. So that's something we can look at, something we can improve at. But Mooney took advantage of his opportunities and made some big plays for us. But we want 12 touching the ball, and we know when everyone is touching the ball on offense and we're getting to our playmakers, that's when we can be efficient and be more deadly. But it's going to be about red zone touchdowns going into this next week.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mitch. We're all set.
Thanks, Mitch. Mitch Trubisky there. Obviously, the hard questions aren't being asked. That's the truth. Lollipops.
We're used to that in Chicago.
Lollipops, golden tickets, Willy Wonkas, all of that is what transpires when you're talking about this franchise. Now, fans, you have every right to be happy that you're playing in the playoffs. If you're pissed off about it and someone's challenged you in that level, that's wrong too. You should be pissed off. You're going against the rivalry game to control your destiny and say, this is who I am as a football team. This is who I am as a head coach. I'm in this to win the Super Bowl. I'm not in this to back into the playoffs. That's the wrong message. And the coach sitting out there celebrating that shit and seeing the quarterback come out here and say these happy-go-lucky things because you got another week to play and turn this around and maybe win a game or not. But you think you're going far with that kind of identity? You're going nowhere. That's the truth. Our next guest, former Chicago Bear, going to be a surprise here, is jumping on. You talk about a guy that played in Bears-Packers games. He's played in a few. I don't know if he's ready. Maybe he's not ready. I saw him step away.
He's doing push-ups.
He's probably doing. He's pissed off, putting his head into the
He's reviewing the tape, Phil.
I know he's reviewing his notes. He's probably reviewing his notes. But listen, on this show, this network, we bring on the big hitters. This guy at 150 pounds, Dad, one of my favorites. He used to hit people. Let's bring him on, but in our way.
Forget the temperature outside today. The Bears were hot at Soldier Field. Yeah, they were. Yeah. So was Lemuel Stinson, wasn't he? Lemuel Stinson lit the fuse that started today's fireworks at Soldier Field, and that helped blow Atlanta right out of the water by making 2 of the Bears' 4 interceptions.
This guy was selected in the 6th round of the 1988 NFL Draft out of Texas Tech by your Chicago Bears. During his career as a cornerback for the Bears, he appeared in a playoff game every season except one, and in 1990, picked off 6 passes and only 10 games played. Bears fans, get out your seats and give it up for the former Worthington coach. He's Lemuel Stinson.
Oh, yeah, Lemuel Stinson in the house with us. Lemuel, how you doing today? Can you hear us? You might be frozen.
Frozen in time, I think.
Son of a. He's frozen. That's how shocked he is from the reality of what he saw.
Oh, you know what it is? He saw that 4th down dash pass, and he doesn't know what to say.
Hopefully he comes back. We gave him the nice intro. Lemuel, pull him back in when he re-ups his thing. Lemuel will come on and talk a little bit about this rivalry and what he saw today. Obviously, you saw in that footage a guy. Is he there? Can you hear us?
Looks like he's coming on.
Yeah, he's froze again.
He froze.
You hear me?
You We can hear you.
But your video is frozen.
Hey.
There he is.
Can hear you. Your audio is good, but your video is froze.
Oh.
Lemuel,
there.
3 dropped interceptions.
Okay. How y'all doing?
Can you hear us?
Good. Happy New Year.
Woo! Happy New Year. Happy New Year. How you doing?
Doing good.
Listen, 3 dropped interceptions today.
That's good.
3 drops, and the Chicago Bears get embarrassed again, this time at home, by their rivals. You've played in this game. I know you're freezing up, but talk about the importance. Obviously, they got into the playoffs, but what did you see out there, obviously, on the defensive side of the ball first, and then talk about the offense?
Well, on the defensive side of the ball, I don't understand why we got linebackers covering wide receivers. Number 83, he's going to run away from 59 all day long. He just tossed the ball. I guarantee you, Rodgers just started smiling in his suit when he seen that, just throwing the ball up and just catching the ball. That's fucking ridiculous. Excuse my language. But then you got number 55 covering number 13 dragging across the field. That was crazy. I mean, what are we thinking about defensively? Defensively, I think that was the worst defensive call I've seen the whole year. You put levers, and then they said bring some nickel guys in if you have to, because those guys couldn't cover those guys.
Totally agree.
Well, that was the key.
Yeah, they're making those calls in the biggest game of the year. It's crazy.
It's tough because you get these matchups, and Aaron Rodgers is going to find that matchup, just like you said, and he's laughing because you're giving away money there. It's free money. And in this game, especially in the NFL, you can't give away money like that.
No, not at all. I mean, those guys can't run with those guys, and they put the safety. I don't know what the safety doing. I couldn't see it because it's narrow on the TV. It's not like you're looking at a big film room or something like that. But I thought that was the worst call we can possibly play, and we gave it up twice. I mean, first down. I mean, we're giving up first downs like it's nothing. It's crazy. I mean, I see Rodgers just, you can't give a quarterback that good those kind of opportunities. You're gonna beat us all the time.
Totally agree. Now you look at Mitch Trubisky. Like I said, 3 dropped interceptions in this game by the Bears defense. Could have changed the momentum. They had the punt drop. They recovered, had the short field, had to settle for the field goal. Talk about what you thought about Mitch Trubisky's performance and the offense.
Well, offensively, I think for us, Mitch Trubisky, they try to keep him in the pocket and throw the ball. I mean, he's more of getting outside, throwing the ball, and doing that. I thought when we were supposed to run, we passed the ball. When we were supposed to pass, we ran the ball. It was kind of totally opposite to me. I mean, everybody looking at it like, damn, what are you doing? Run the ball when you're supposed to run it, throw it when you're supposed to throw it. We didn't do that. I thought it was just the play calling was horrific. It's terrible. Terrible play calling. I mean, I don't. Trubisky, he's not a sitting pocket quarterback and throw the ball, and he didn't get outside like last week where he's running outside. And I don't think he used his legs this week. He should have used his legs a little bit more to get out of trouble on the rollouts and stuff like that. But they did try to scheme for him because they had a guy peeling off for him, so he couldn't throw the ball. He couldn't throw the ball like he wanted to on the when he put that tight end out on the out route like they did last week.
Yeah, you saw a lot of trying to get the boot game going. Obviously, if anybody's questioning the talent of David Montgomery at this point, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what film you're watching. I don't know what you're seeing. You're certainly not seeing football because 32 left every ounce of passion and everything out on that football field today. I honestly, even at the final plays, just the effort runs that he's catching, those little arrow routes over the middle, and he's just trying to get yards. I mean, that should be your game plan. And every week we see this Cordero Patterson inside the red zone. You see these plays that are given away to other players and not the identity of your offense. It's so frustrating. Talk about that.
Well, I thought that they got him the ball. Montgomery, they got him the ball. I know he needs the ball in his hand, at least running the ball at least 20 to 25 times a game, guaranteed. He should get that every time. And certain situations they can go to the outside 12 and 11. I think 11 he needs to pick his game up a little bit because he a couple of times he catches the ball and he need one extra inch to just stretch the ball out there and he falls down or go out of bounds at at 9 yards instead of getting to 10 yards. I mean, dive forward or something. It's something about you gotta step up to win the game. You gotta be a player. You gotta be that guy that steps up and say, I'm not gonna make the bad mistake. I'm gonna make the great mistake. And I mean, I'm gonna make it a great play. And that's what we're not doing. We're not trying to be great. We're just trying to be mediocre, trying to get the job done. No, sometimes you got to go above and beyond the job. But I thought play calling put Trubisky in a bad situation today. I think sitting him in the pocket, holding him in the pocket, we didn't roll him out enough. We tried to get him out, and we didn't adjust to what their defense was doing to us on offense. That's my thing with that.
Yeah, I don't know. You haven't met my father here officially, so Coach Atoshin, you're listening to him. Hey, this is
I think he's got some good deals there going. Mine to you too.
He's
got more of a picture on you. But anyway, I explained myself before that I thought the play calling was bad too, but I think Trubisky should have ran a few more times. I think
terrible.
He should run more. And
I don't understand why they don't spread them out, run trips, get the backside tight end through the seam. They don't use Jimmy Graham in the red zone. It's like everything.
Phil, that one time in the red zone, Jimmy Graham and Cole Kmet weren't even on the field.
It's
listen, I got to ask you this. I wanted to comment on this. So before I lose the thought, chain of thought.
Ask the question.
When did you see him under the center and run an action pass?
They ran it twice under center, action pass twice. They did it twice.
That's what he should do more of. Because
and both
especially
plays
on the
were
goal
completed.
line. On the goal line.
Oh my God!
Shotgun.
Especially they're in the fucking shotgun. What is this? Freaking the Red Army over there, Texas Tech.
Yeah.
I know.
If you can, I don't Red Raiders, baby.
Remember they didn't run the
Raiders,
ball.
baby. We know how to do that.
They didn't run the ball for 3 games.
We don't have no Red Raider offense.
It might not be a bad idea because they are great, aren't they now?
Yeah, they are. They turned it around over there.
Yeah.
But listen, it's very evident. Mitch Trubisky's a better quarterback under center, mechanically, decision-wise, and down in the goal line. To your point, Dad, you're 100% right. You're in the shotgun, and you're giving away 75% of the switch, the misdirection of what you want to do. Once you go under center, now anything is possible. You could run anything from under center. And that's why it infuriates football people watching this offense and how they do it, especially anytime you're in the red zone. 32's got to be in the game because he can be a receiver or a runner anyway. That run threat makes that linebacker false step, and then it gets that leverage concept, whether it be Mooney, 12, Allen Robinson, or a tight end. Give them that little yard, and that's where you start winning. But against Green Bay, they shut down. They can't figure it out. It gets me crazy. What do we have to do to these guys? Nagy and Picano suck the skin. Oh, my God.
One of the other things that happened in that game, you notice all his patterns were short, and when he got the snap, he only took one step back. So it automatically tells your secondary he's going short.
Right.
So and every ball that's thrown, if you notice, guys are catching the ball and getting tackled right away.
Yep.
They get tackled right away because, I mean, if you play defensive back, you realize that you're watching the ball, but you're watching the drop of the quarterback. And if he short drops, it's 3-step drop. and you're getting a quick release, and you may as well hang tough on those receivers.
Well, no one
This
could
is the
talk
guy. This
better
is the guy
about
that knows that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're right.
Lemuel.
You got the right guy here. You know
Yeah,
all
right.
about that.
Hey, and they never gave a when you take that one step, that's a 3-step read when they're in shotgun.
Yeah.
So 9 times out of 10, those guys just sitting. Number 20 was sitting. A couple of guys were sitting, just waiting. But we never gave them like a stutter out and go. None of those stop and goes or a slant and go or something like that. Yeah, we got to get better on like I said, we got to get better on play calling. No, believe me, I was all gun ho. Phil, you see my Facebook. I had my jacket on, I had my shirt on, I had everything going to where I was going to watch this game because I felt that we had the opportunity to win this game, and we still got another chance coming up. Playing the Saints. They, I know y'all will get to it, but. The Saints can be beat. They can be beat. We just got to go out there and play our game and enjoy our game. We're not enjoying it. We're just trying to look like we're playing too safe. We're not playing reckless football.
Totally agree.
Totally agree. Let me ask you this. As an former NFL corner, former NFL player, and a Chicago Bear, how do you prepare backing into the playoffs? Have you ever been in that situation? And how do you motivate this team?
Can't hear you.
Yeah, we lost him. There you go.
Number one, we could talk. Number one, we can talk about it. We backed in. That's true. We backed in the playoffs, but there's a lot of other teams wish they'd have backed in. So the deal is for me, I think that coming in that time, Dick always say, hey, you play. If you win your division, you understand how you get into the playoffs. And what we didn't do is win the division. But now that we are in there, we got to go and just wash everything. We got to throw everything out the window, and we got to prepare for whatever the Saints need to do in the game. If they need me to come up there and look at film with the DBs, I'll go up there and look at film with the DBs and say, hey, they doing this, they doing that. What do y'all think? What's going on? But we need to take this game like it's the Super Bowl. Every game we play now is like the Super Bowl.
That's right.
Absolutely. I mean, it's one game and done. We lucked into the playoffs, in my opinion. The only way I have any respect for this coach and this coaching staff is if they went out and beat their rival. You played for a guy that understood the importance of this game and the rivalry and what it means to the fans and the city of Chicago. And upper management pretty well. The McCaskies, you lost, you got embarrassed again. Yes, you still have life, you still have a pulse, but what do you think this is saying to the business side? Pace, Nagy, do you keep these guys? Do you see them getting fired if they go out and get embarrassed by the Saints next? I know we're on a little delay.
Well, I don't think we'll get embarrassed by the Saints. I think that we'll win. I think we can beat the Saints. I have the Saints are a good team, but they can be beat. We proved that when we was playing bad a few weeks ago when we played them anyway. But
it went to overtime.
As far as the Packers, if we can get them, if we can get the Packers back again, I think we can win. The only difference is we know what personally makes me really upset. Not the scoring and not Rodgers doing what he did, because he did a good job, but them dancing in our end zone and shaking and doing all that other stuff in our end zone. That really pisses me off. Because we didn't like that. We didn't like that, and we take offense to them doing that. So that should motivate them to ready to
I think everybody in the NFL
play the Saints.
I think everybody in the NFL is used to that now. They just say that's part of the thing.
Yeah, well,
part of the culture.
That's why they put those video boards. That's why they put those video boards in the end zone. Yeah, right.
Yeah, you couldn't do it.
We couldn't do it.
We couldn't do it in our time. I sure wish we could.
Tell me about it.
You would have been dancing.
I wish we could. I wish we could win with us. I'd have been dancing on them.
I mean, this rivalry has to mean something to this organization. I just don't. Yeah. I see what you're saying. I think we could beat the Saints too. We could beat anybody any given Sunday. It sucks that Lemuel's connection isn't perfect because he's given you so much knowledge here, and it's a little delayed for those fans that are asking what's going on. Why is he choppy or whatever? I'm just letting you know there's something going on in the internet connection. But the story for me here in this season is one of unveiling like the Wizard of Oz. You pull the curtain back and you gave up play calling. Let's do this story. Let me just break this down for everybody to remember. Yes, we're in the playoffs. We lost to the Green Bay Packers, not once, twice, by double-digit scores. Your quarterback hasn't played well in either one of those games. Your coach has not coached very well in either one of those games. You lost 6 games in a row. You should have been in the playoffs already where this game didn't matter and the Rams game didn't matter because you were up 10 points to the Detroit Lions with 2 minutes and 43 seconds to go in the game, and you found a way to lose that game for your 6th loss. You beat the worst team in the NFL, the Jaguars, one of the worst teams, the Houston Texans, and you beat the Minnesota Vikings. Now you get to this point where you want to control your own destiny, and you can't do that. Then you come on here and you start laughing it up as a head coach. You've showed me everything I need to know behind the curtain on the tape. Now, as the man, what are you going to do? What I would do is probably what Ditka would do, what my father would do, what Lemuel would probably do, is hold these motherfuckers accountable. Hold those players. I would be pissed off at the podium and saying it's not good enough. But today I heard a coach making excuses and talking about what a great football team the Packers are. That's 8-8. That's give every little kid a participation award. Give everybody trophies. Akeem, you played great, even though I saw you loafing 12 times. And this guy, Eddie, you dropped the ball. You're supposed to be the goddamn Pro Bowler, and you drop an interception. 22, you're young. You got to make that catch. You got to be hard on these guys. You got to praise them. You got to know when to pat them on the back. Know when to give him a kiss on the cheek. Know this stuff. He doesn't know it. And 4th and 1, you got to fucking pound it up in there and say, I'm challenging you, offensive line. You win the game, not Mitch. You win the game with 32. You can't do it. You can't do it. And I'm cutting the snake's head off. Get rid of this coach. Get rid of him because you're just 8-8 average. You're not Lemuel Stinson. You're not Mike Ditka. You don't have any balls. What you got is playing scared. Just like you said, you're nervous. Everything's tense. Be better. Fuck be you. Be better. Instead, we're being shoe. That's my point here, Lemuel. I'm tired of it. I know what a head coach is. I was raised by one. I live football. Get me somebody in here that doesn't accept mediocrity. Because today, fans are going to be mad at me. Trolls are going to be mad. Well, they're in the playoffs. What do you do? We need better. Am I right, Lemuel? Am I keeping it 100?
All day long. Keeping it 100. Keeping it 100.
That's my mini rant. Shane, are you adding anything to that?
I really can't, man. To me, what still irritates me, Phil, and we've just like Matt Nagy, where he repeats himself. We're doing the same things here, and I heard, Lemuel touch on it a little bit, and your dad, the Bears post-up offense. It reminds me of like a basketball game because their back is always to where they need to go on every single offensive play.
That's true.
Yeah, it is. That's why I call it the post-up offense. You know what I mean? They're boxing their guy out, catching the ball, and they get tackled. But this offense is set up where they have guys with size, not Mooney. Mooney's the speed guy, but you got Kmet, you got Graham, you got Allen Robinson, even a guy like Javon Wims, who probably shouldn't even be on the roster at this point, but they have size. We can't even get these play callers to call. We get one slant pass in 2 games. And to me, it's coaching malpractice. So, I mean, that's something that Mitch is decent at. I mean, it gives him confidence. A simple slant pass. Right. You never know what's going to happen. Bounce off a tackle, you might house it. Who knows? But they refuse to call it. But instead, we'll see a dash pass on 4th and 1 after you just converted 3 straight 4th and 1s. I don't know. It's coaching malpractice, and fundamental football seems to escape this coaching staff on both sides of the ball. And to me, Chuck Pagano is much more at fault than Matt Nagy, because you know what? Chuck Pagano this week talked about not leaving any of the bullets in his chamber. You have all the high-priced players. You have all the guys on this roster that are getting paid, that are fantastic. Khalil Mack, Robert Quinn, Akeem Hicks, all of these guys, Danny Trevathan, Roquan Smith, Eddie Jackson. You have all of these upper-tier players, and you're getting run over. You're getting smacked. You know, when the Bears went down and punched it in, the first drive of the game, I was so proud of the offense. I said, you know what? They're coming out. They played with some physicality. They pounded the ball in with Montgomery, and you just knew. You knew the next thing that was going to happen was the defense was going to get slapped in the mouth all the way down the field, and that's exactly what happened. And to me, Pagano is, at the very least, has to be. I want Nagy in this front office and everybody gone to have a clean slate, including the quarterback. I want everybody gone, but at the very least, I think they're going to hire a team president. They're going to push Ted Phillips to the side off of football ops completely. They're going to have a guy sit there that's going to oversee everything. He's going to put a bullseye on Matt Nagy's forehead. He's going to put one on Ryan Pace's forehead. He's going to oversee everything for 2021. And then if we get more of the same, then it's going to be his show in 2022 where you see sweeping changes. But Chuck Pagano, at the very least, has to be fired after this season or whenever their playoffs end, because
Quinn again, 3rd down, covering the tight end, your pass rusher, covering a tight end again in the 3rd down. I hear you, Shane. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck Colin Camp is talking about Bukowski being right about. Shane, do you know what he was right about? Because all I saw was David Montgomery being the answer today to everything for the Bears. I don't know. Trolls are going to troll, Lemuel. Trolls are going to troll. I know. Listen, I got to do some business. I got to do some business sides of this. If you're not,
listen, I gotta tell you something. I'm gonna probably be out of battery by the time I finish talking here, so I just wanted to comment. It's very nice to meet you, Lemuel, and God bless all of you. And I like to watch the Bears game next week, and hopefully they'll win. But if they win, let's do it in a big way. You know, not just 10 yards in a cloud of dust with a catch and a guy getting crippled from the back. Right. Be nice to see some long passes. You got that 12, he can run. And so can Mooney. He can run too.
Yeah.
I hope Mooney's okay.
He'll be all right. Everybody will be all right. This is big bucks. You know, you get another check, right?
Yeah, you got to rub some dirt on it. Get ready.
Right. Hey, they get an extra check. They didn't play for that extra check, but they get an extra check.
They're not playing for nothing. They're playing for big bucks this week. Anyway.
All right,
bless
Dad.
all you guys. We'll see you later, huh?
All right.
See you, Coach.
We'll see you this week. We'll be doing another X's with the O's, Dad, this week.
Good.
So I don't know what day it's going to be, because are we playing Saturday or Sunday, Shane?
I don't know yet. It might be out there.
You'll call me.
I'll give you
we'll
a
let
call.
you know.
There, that's what we do. All right. God bless. There's my father, Coach Atoshin Sr. Like I was saying, this game is won and lost by these coaches. You see Shane talking about Pagano. You see me talking about Nagy, the offense. You're seeing dropped interceptions. I started off my rant The difference between winning and losing is catching and dropping the football. You see one of those turnovers, Mingo has an easy interception. Tough play, easy interception, though. You had your hand on it, then you got your second hand on it. Got to make that play. 22 coming right at you, right into your room. You got to snag that ball, catch it. Then you got Eddie Jackson dropping the interception. The guy runs his mouth so much, you would think that you'd make that fucking play and help your team out, but he just can't do it. You know, you've been around these guys that run their mouths, and in the moments, every time they don't come through, at some point, all that rigmarole falls on deaf ears. But for me, even more than Shane, Matt Nagy's got to go. I'm sorry. That's where I'm at. This can't be hidden. Go ahead.
And don't get me wrong, I don't like nobody getting fired. I don't like nobody, I like everybody to play his job and do their job and do everything. But it's got to be a change made. It's something got to go on, because we're seeing the same thing we've seen week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's going on now. So I mean, we got DBs playing. I know number 20 played good last week. He did good inside, played good last week, but he didn't play worth a damn this week. I mean, he let the guy play inside technique. The guy running a slant. You can't cover it from the outside if you're playing man technique in the end zone open. The tight end run right across his face in the end zone, and he doesn't even run with him. He's a cornerback. That's a tight end. You're supposed to be all up on his hip. Matters the body size. You need to just be in his hip where you can make a play. I mean, it gets frustrated because I see the DBs doing certain things that we couldn't ever get away with. It's no technique. I mean, you got coaches putting, and I'm not bashing the coach. I'm bashing technique. I'm bashing what they're doing, because if they're not doing it right, they need to get the coach up out of there. I mean, because if they play like they play today, defensively, secondary wise, there's no way the Saints gonna let them make it next week. They're not gonna let them make it.
Hopefully, it's going to be interesting, because I mean, hopefully you'll get Jalen Johnson back. I don't know. He's had 3 shoulder surgeries, and he had one this past April, and the injury that he's out with is to his surgically reconstructed shoulder. So I'd say it's probably iffy at best if he's going to be in there. But Phil, you spoke on it too. I mean, Eddie Jackson has to make the play. Kendall Vildor, that's one. He's going to be killing himself tonight when he's trying to sleep, not being. I mean, 5th round or 6th round rookie cornerback. You got to come down with that one.
And then too, it look at me. I don't even know if they're gonna be killing themselves. They're just gonna be happy they made it into the playoffs, because the way that they play doesn't even show that they even have the inspiration. I mean, we had 3 interceptions that could have stopped that game real quick instead of turning it into a 35-game win. I mean, we had 3 interceptions. The defensive end. The defensive end, if he made that play, we'd have been happy. If that was Richard Dent, he'd have made that play. I have no problem with that. But that play that DN had, it turned his body around, put a glove on it, put 2 hands on the ball. I think everybody try to be like, and I'm trying to get the word out. I'm trying to be where they just Instagramming it, FaceTiming it, or whatever they're doing, trying to make it look so pretty. No, just do the basics. Just put both hands on the ball. Catch the ball. Put both hands on the ball. I'm putting both hands on the ball. And those, them corners are killing me right now, because either they need to work harder in practice. They need to go back. They need to go reevaluate themselves at the end of the year when this season is over with, and figure out what the hell they need to do. If they want football, Ted Phillips need to get them out. I know either they need to go.
I hope he walks out the door with them.
I know they're paying him a lot of money.
Duke Shelley.
I know y'all can't stand Ted.
Duke Shelley, the nickel corner, did not have himself a good game. Last week he had a really good game. That was number
20?
Yeah, 20. He's number 20. We're teaching our guy, my boy Lemuel. Yeah, last week he played great.
Yeah, Shelley.
Yeah, he came back and was getting beat all over the field. That play you're talking about. He's jogging. The tight end is just running, sprinting. He's jogging. You got to be in his hip. Everything needs to be perfect with this team because of the struggles they have. You have to be perfect. And when coaching is stupid, when fundamentals aren't taught, and they show up on the field and there's no accountability for it, because what I saw in that speech, and you didn't get to see it, Lemuel, is a coach content with getting in the playoffs this way. He's okay because he's got another shot. And I don't know what they've told him, if you're safe or you're not. Obviously, Jay Glazer says, wait a minute, tap the brakes. He's not safe. And Ian Rappaport says he is safe. So I'm in the camp that should have been the litmus test of whether or not you're safe or not. Beat the Packers. Then we'll talk about your job. But right now you're celebrating and there's no accountability. I'm not going to put this on Duke Shelley. He's a young kid playing nickel and he's got to learn and be better. But this situation has to improve if you ever are thinking about going up against Drew Brees and the Saints and doing anything in the playoffs. You have to be better defensively, to Shane's point.
Yeah, I do believe that.
You had, Shane, do we have some guests lined up, some fans?
Well, we were going to go, I texted you.
Oh, I didn't
see a few minutes ago. Yeah, we're going to roll with Lemuel, and I don't know if you want to add the barber here real quick to see if he's got any comments.
Hey, what's up? What's up, Lemuel? I didn't get to meet you last time. He's on a little delay.
Yeah, he's on a little delay.
What's up now?
Well, hey, what's up, man? Good to meet you. Good to meet you, man. You got some knowledge, man. I'm learning. I'm just taking notes.
Nice to meet Claudia, what were your thoughts of the game, Claudia?
Well, I mean, obviously, I was upset with some of the play call and some of the decisions on fourth down. I told you, Phil, I thought they should have went for a field goal there instead of going for it on 4th and 1. Just get the points, be down by 2, But, I mean, Monty, Mooney, these guys still play good. Komet played good. We had a lot of bright spots. So, I mean, we're in the playoffs. That's the positive, that's the positive part of this. And, let's just hope something can happen. Something can change. And, I don't know, man. It's mixed emotions. It's tough. It's real tough. But, like Lemuel said, hey, playoffs is a whole new season. So, but Mitch has to play better too, obviously. But
Claudio bringing some passion. He's fired up. He's confused. He's stunned. He's smoking weed. You don't have to drop. But the reality is, listen, these games, you have to be able to go out there and perform and have a plan. I think the story of this game, for me, obviously, those 3 interceptions are key, and the play calls in critical situational football. That's the defining moments where coaches set themselves apart. That's where the Belichicks become the Belichicks, and the Adam Gases become the Adam Gases. Everybody can call plays. Not everybody can coach and teach and hold people accountable. You see, I've always said this. The team is a reflection of its head coach. Out there, effort is in question. Understanding and preparation is in question. Tackling should be the least of your concerns. It was awful today. And obviously, the missed assignments and breakdowns and coverages are terrible in this game. And it's your rivalry game. If you can't get up for this game and you can't be prepared and play the perfect game, then that's a coaching issue, Colin. That's what that is. That's the reality here. So you can try to pretty this up. You can try to pretty a pig up with makeup, but it's still a pig. And right now, all I see is Matt Nagy, all his fingerprints all over this. Yes, Pagano, terrible job. All his bullets, he must have had a fucking pop gun because he didn't put any bullets in that gun today. It's too bad because I really felt like the Bears had an opportunity to win this game and help this franchise out. Instead, you've muddled this whole thing because we're going to get into it on Keep It at 100 this week, but you've muddled this thing with Mitch, with the coach, and the playoffs. All of that becomes smoke and mirrors to really the root of the problem. And it's unfortunate because I was hoping – I didn't want the Bears to back into the playoffs, Lemuel. Keep it 100.
No.
I get it. I want – obviously, I'm cheering my ass off. I get emotional. I was almost in passionate tears in my rant because I think this team is so much better than it performs. And I think Shane knocked it out of the park with that scare, that fear. You said it too. It's like you're playing so tense that you don't want to make a mistake. That's not how you play football.
No,
that's not how you play football.
Mm-hmm.
You're not afraid to make a mistake. You're afraid you don't make a play. That's the difference. And really out there today, I saw the Chicago Bears drop an opportunity to step up. And I think one of the fans put it up here. Aaron Rodgers is 18-2 against your franchise. McCaskey, if you're watching, which you are, you have to have an understanding that this guy fucking has all his hands on this football team. Every player, every guy should be pissed off. And tonight I saw a coach that's happy that he's in the playoffs and has an opportunity. A selfish person. I saw a selfish person. I saw a guy that's happy that he got an opportunity and it might have saved his job, which, by the way, was saved by the two guys you don't even understand how to use, in Mitch Trubisky and David Montgomery. That's how your job was saved. And now you get into these moments, and guess what, Lemuel? 4th and 1, I'm giving the ball to Montgomery. I'm not putting it in Mitch's hand on a dash pass. I'm giving it to Montgomery, and I'm challenging my team. If I have to call timeout there and get the tone set and get in Bars, Leno, and the center's fucking face, I'm going to do that and say, I'm challenging each and every fucking one of you, and the whole city's watching you, and the whole world is watching you, and they're going to fire out like they never did before, and we're going to get down into the end zone, and we're going to score. That's the coaching. This guy's worried about his play sheet. This is him all the time, Lemuel. What are we doing? That's what it is. It's a play caller. He's a fucking position coach calling plays and being a head coach. It's unfortunate. It really is. It really is. Yeah. I keep going on these.
I know Coach Stanfield. I know Coach Stanfield used to get the lineman when he had our offensive line with Bortz and Jimbo and Van and Jay Hilgenberg. Those guys was nasty. Those guys was guys when we needed first down, we needed whatever we needed, 2 yards, 1 yard, they dig down in the trenches. And I don't know if you know Mark Bortz, but when you see Mark Bortz come off the line, oh my God, it's just it's like terror. We getting first downs. We run the ball down and we practice that. And we practice that. That's what Dick will line up, and we have 9-on-7. I don't know if they do 9-on-7 now. I think they do 7-on-7 the whole time they in practice. Because 9-on-7, we coming, defense coming, corners over there playing one-on-one or covering the receivers. But shoot, inside, Mike Singletary, the linebackers and linemen, they going at it. We just got to get that work. 1 yard, Dick, we gonna get 1 yard. That's what the offense is supposed to do. So I seen a few little trick plays. I like the play that was on the goal line when they ran the shuffle pass to the tight end. It was, if he'd have went right, he'd have probably scored. But we just got to get more. We got to get nastier.
I agree. It's unfortunate that you got an opportunity here. Now we got to see, how are we going to handle this? How are we going to handle and prepare for the New Orleans Saints? That's really what it boils down to at this point, because there's nothing else we could do. There's so many plays in this game. I'm going to say this right now. Darnell Mooney, to me, the sky is the limit for that. I know exactly what you're talking about. Him in that situation, not knowing where the sticks were, just reach that ball out. But That hands catch on that 53-yard pass is outstanding. Fucking eyes through the hands catch. Everything I've ever wanted a Chicago Bears receiver to be, Darnell Mooney is. That effort where Amos destroys him at the sideline and hurts the kid, you can't coach that. That's just want to. And if we're going to build around people, Montgomery and Mooney are the guys that I want in my huddle that are playing for my football team, because that's the effort I saw out there. This game meant a lot to them. Obviously, I'm going to break down this tape for you patrons. If you're not a patron, go to the patron channel, subscribe today, where I break down both offense and defense. Those of you on our YouTube channel watching this show later tonight or tomorrow, you know I'll give you the offensive side on the YouTube channel, but on our patron side, I break down both defense and offense, and there's going to be a lot to break down and analyze to show you what went wrong. Why did it go wrong? Why weren't they scheming these players open? How did they use Jimmy Graham? What they did in the red zone? How the corners misaligned? What you're hearing from Lemuel here. You're playing inside man. You should never let anyone cross your face and still beat you, yet it happened. All these things I'm going to break down. Obviously, this show also becomes a podcast. You could listen to that. Shy City Sports, who promote us and sponsor our show here at Bears Hour Live here every Sunday, Monday or Tuesday. Patron sign up, $7 a month. Get in while the getting is good, as they say, Shane. Well, I think we're up to 540 subscribers, or 535. It was at
no,
5.
We're pushing 560.
Oh,
Actually.
560. Look at that. Yeah, I know a lot of you are already subscribers. Listen, just go over there, www, right there, thetapeneverlies.com. I saw a lot of you guys. It's 23 cents a day, as Zach Sullivan says. 23 cents a day. You guys asked me, where's the defense? Well, you got to be a patron. That's where you're going to get 45, 47, 43 minutes of film analysis. And I'm proud of what we do here at this network. Brings guys like Lemuel Stinson, former Bear, to the table to break down this game with us live here on Bears Hour Live. It's the best post-game show on the planet, no doubt about it. I thought we were going to have some guests on today, but we got my father came on today.
We had two good ones.
Yeah, we had two good guests. Shane, I don't know. Let's go with Lemuel. Do you have some final thoughts here on Bears versus Packers?
We play like shit. Just defensively, we got to play better. There's no other way to call it. Secondary didn't play with the damn. Don't get me wrong. And I know some young cats, but they got to play better. They got to learn. They got to know technique-wise what you need to do and what be done within the defense that's called. Offensively, play calling got to be better. Trubisky need to get out the pocket. I think they know he need to get out the pocket, so they're trying to hold him. We need to get some other plays to make sure that he can do what he do, use his legs the best way he can use it, and win the game. This game is really important coming up, but Green Bay game, we lost. We got to eat it. It's like a bad taste in your mouth till next week, till we play again. And I'm gonna hear from all my Packer fans, the Philip Epps, guys, Sterling Sharp, and those guys. You hear from them. Hey, we whoop your ass again, huh? You get tired of it, but sooner or later, hopefully, I'll get tired of it too and start putting it on them. So hopefully, this is what I hope and I pray is that we see them again in the playoffs. At the end of the playoffs, if we can handle our business for these few games in the playoffs.
Hey, you beat New Orleans. You beat New Orleans. I'm pretty sure you're heading to Lambeau.
Yeah.
Hey, and like I say, we like a cold weather team to come. I mean, a warm weather team to come into Chicago when we played. So now we'll be a cold weather team going to a cold weather team. So it'll be okay.
Yep, there you go.
Thank you so much for you jumping on. I know the fans, obviously, you have some trolls, but you got to ignore the trolls. You know they're going to come out. It's like Christmas.
Yeah.
Like Christmas. They're going to come and show themselves. Shane, your final thoughts, then I'll give you mine, and then we'll wrap up this show and call it a night.
Yeah, no, I just want to, hey, the Bears, I think if we were all going to give each other a truth serum, I don't think anybody is shocked by the result from today. Obviously, we wanted the Bears to win. I think that they got outplayed. I think that they got outcoached today. And when you're playing your biggest game of the year, and those are two of the flaws that you have, you're going to lose 98% of the time, and you're going to lose almost 100% of the time in the NFL. But you know what? They got into the playoffs, and I think it's important to not forget about what they've done, because at the end of the day, they did switch things up, Phil, to turn things around and get past the 6-game losing streak. And there's going to be a whole lot of time for us to look back and focus on the negative. But you know what? If I told you before the season that we made the playoffs in week 17 and we still lost the game, I think there's a lot of people that would sign up for that. Does it really mean anything if they go and get a boat race down in New Orleans? No, but we're going to focus on, I think it's important to focus on New Orleans. Shift your focus there. Hopefully the coaching staff comes together and they can put together the best game plan that they've done in a couple of years. And these players realize that it's the Bears have a lot to have on the table here. They were in the playoffs before. They were so close to winning, and Cody Parkey with the double doink took it all away. And so now it's about redemption. Go back and get that W. Go back and write your new story. Nobody thinks that you're going to go down to New Orleans. When all these quote-unquote experts pick the game, you're going to see a whole lot of New Orleans helmets coming across the bottom of the screen. Well, it doesn't mean anything. You can still go down there. You can shock the world, and you can get your third date with Green Bay in Lambeau if that's what you want. And once you're in, you never know what's going to happen. So that's where my focus is going to be. I'm not going to look back right now because you have a real long off season to do that. My eyes are going to be looking forward to New Orleans and figuring out what we got to do down there to get the W.
I'm going to bring Claudio on because I want to delay. I'm trying to upload our final scene for this show. So I'm going to bring Claudio on to give us some time to give us his final thoughts. Claudio.
Well, I wanted to tell everybody a quick little funny thing that happened during the game. I laughed out loud. It was hilarious. Remember when we had a little stint of everybody getting hurt? Monty got hurt. Mooney got hurt. Phil goes, only our guys get hurt. Why do only our guys get hurt? I'm like, what are you talking about? Only our guys get hurt. It was hilarious. Phil is so fun to watch a game with. And maybe next year I'll try to live stream it more for the fans. It would be fun. But that was funny. But, hey, listen, I hope my boy Mooney is all right. We didn't hear an update on him. So let's hope he's all right because we're going to need him in the playoffs. I'm married to him. I'm married to him, right?
Claude, we got an interesting take here by Tony Salamonski talking about the Bears playoff game against the Eagles. It's not Cody Parkey's fault because the Bears scored 15 points. Well, they did enough. Yeah,
they got him in the position
exactly.
To
listen,
come on, Tony.
Tony, football comes down when Kevin Butler goes out there because Lemuel had a pick, and then Jim Harbaugh throws it down inside the 10, and there's 3 seconds to go, and Butler goes up to line up, and he shanks it. Then you're blaming the kicker. The team played well, and I don't understand the theory. Maybe I mean that's why we have this network. So I'm not gonna be hard on Tony, but let me teach you something, Tony. Mitch drives him down, and Parkey goes up to make that kick. They call timeout. He makes that kick, right? If you remember. He made the kick, but the timeout was called. So the next kick, he double doinks it, and the Bears lose. They go home. The story isn't about everything else and how much you scored. It's about the kicker having to do his one motherfucking job and kick it through the uprights. That's keeping it 100. That's the reality. Am I right, Lemuel? We have to teach on this.
That's your job.
Exactly.
Do your job.
Thank you. Let me say this. It's all set. I've uploaded it. So I'm going to give you a surprise. One of our patrons, as well as a friend now, he's going to be a part of this network because he produced something for me, a remix of the Bears Hour Live song. I put it to video, and every Bears Hour Live, we got another one next week, Shane. So every one moving forward, we're going to end with this surprise little ending after I have my final thoughts. I want to shout my boy Cool Kennedy out, and we are going to be doing some music, Lemuel, because I don't know if you know this, but your boy Draft Dr. Phil back in the day had a record deal, and it's a whole story that we'll have to talk about for another day.
You're lucky that one video is not uploaded to this broadcast. I'd be hitting that thing hard.
Well, let me say this. I love you guys for coming on here and always keeping it 100. Even you guys, especially in the chat, you fans of our network, we bring it real, and real recognizes real. That's the reality of this. I have my father come on this show to give a different perspective, head coach's perspective. You got a former cornerback that was amazing in his day and age when he was playing at 150 pounds. Go back and just search on YouTube 1990 Bears and try to find some game tape. I know I did because I was trying to build that open. And then there's Lemuel at 150 pounds coming up, laying the lumber on running backs. That's what this game is about. That's what you need. So here's breaking news: 4:40 next Sunday versus the Saints. So we're going to be back here next Sunday. Those of you patrons, you're going to have then that leads perfectly, Shane, to Saturday morning. My father and I are going to take 5 plays from this game, critical plays, and we are going to break them down. If you haven't seen X's with the O's.
Does that mean we're going to see a dash pass?
The dash pass is definitely one of the 5 plays. I already have it in my head. I know exactly what we're going to do. Dash pass is definitely there, and you'll see more. If you're a patron right here, Greg Hillier just signed up from Canada. Thank you, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
We appreciate you guys. It's a new year, so the new chapter in the Chicago Bears. And I'll say this, my final thoughts now. Business is out of the way. I'm a big believer in rivalry, toughness, passion for this game of football. I'll take the trolls. I'll take the bullshit that I know I'm going to get from some people that don't understand why I get emotional about the Chicago Bears. But you have one life. This is my passion, football. And when I see the game be played in a manner with which I know it can be better, it infuriates me as a coach, as a player myself. And to watch this team against your rivalry, to control your own destiny and to play in such a loosey-goosey, tight manner, it was disappointing. It was disheartening. But the cream always rises to the top. So when I look at this game, probably now I'll have to look at it another fucking 35 times cutting this tape for this week. I'm going to see what I saw already in Darnell Mooney, in David Montgomery, in Cody Whitehair, in Cole Kmet, in some of these plays. Obviously, I'm going to break down. There was 2 delay of game calls that should have been called against the Aaron Rodgers. It would have negated the Danny Trevathan touchdown play. He snapped it at least a second and a half after the play clock went to 0. Oh, by the way, that's happened before to the Chicago Bears on that infamous Chris Conte, Lance Briggs, Julius Peppers drive. Needless to say, the Chicago Bears have new life. And with new life in a new year, there is hope. And as angry and as frustrated as I could possibly be, because Claudio felt good, other people felt good about this game, I just didn't feel good. Now you take it on the chin. You make some ownership, make some noise, and the Chicago Bears can, like Lemuel said, go down to New Orleans at 4:40 East on Sunday and play your asses off. And the whole narrative changes. But it's up to you, gentlemen. It's up to you, Coach Nagy, you, Pagano, to break through the nerves and the loosey-goosey bullshit and get this team course corrected. It's been an amazing run this year. Happy New Year to everybody, all the new fans, new subscribers, everything we've built in a short time, the numbers of views, followers, messages, emails, gifts, things that I can't even thank you enough for in 1.5 year, Shane, really, because we started right at August and came into this. I can't thank you enough. Lemuel, God bless you and your beautiful family. Lemuel, you could follow him on Facebook. He's just a great person. He's a family man, and he's a good friend now of our network. I can't thank you enough for coming on. Did the swag get there yet? Did the swag come to Texas yet? Or do I got to slap a few? Do I got to slap Acevedo?
No, not yet.
Shane shaking his head. Look,
I'll make the call. We'll have.
Well, the swag should be on its way. I hope Acevedo or Sandman are in the chat. It's on its way.
You'll be swimming with the fishes by midnight tonight, Lemuel.
It should have been there by now.
All right.
But God bless you, guys. It's playoff football now. That you're in the dance. It's not the way you wanted to be there, but you're in there. All of you fans, I can't thank you enough for jumping in here. www. It's right there, Chicago Bears 654. The tape, neverlies.com. It'll take you right there. I want to say thank you to everyone. Shane will take care of your patron numbers, T-shirts. Hit the swag shop.
Had to throw
that Lemuel, out there. You definitely will have the swag by playoff Sunday. I'll tell you that. I want to see some pictures of you
by Sunday.
Exactly.
All right.
Or Shane I have them up.
I have it up.
Exactly. God bless everybody. This is how we're going to end this show. From now on, moving forward, I want to shout out my boy Cool Kennedy for taking my song and making it our song. I love it.
Live right after Bears games with your boys Draft Doc and the smartest man alive. Bears our life. Bears our life. We go on live right after Bears games with your boys Draft Doc and the smartest man alive. Chicago Bear coverage looking like the 3-4. Study film analysis you never seen before. They bring it to you live. Passion and stats. Roquan Smith, 52 Khalil Mack. QB sacks. Nagy need a new plan. His offense sucks. He should stick to selling shoes, man. Hope the defense can hold us down. Maybe if he could roll out money, Mitch could throw a touchdown. If the coach keeps calling dumb plays, the fans want him out. Gotta beat Green Bay. Apply pressure on Rodgers, fight each play. Tell Claudio to chill and smoke weed every day. Dissect the game plan with Shane Marsaw. Nagy gotta check the tape, but won't tell us what he saw. And Draft Dr. Phil blew reviews with the rant. Coach Atoshi said you gotta play with love and respect. Like, there's our life. Bears our life. We go on live right after Bears games with your boys Draft Doc and the smartest man alive. Bears our life. Bears our life. We go on live right after Bears games with your boys Draft Doc and the smartest man alive.